Grown Black folks talk. Count your responsibilities wisely. Okay, so the Escape Velocity series is still going. This is not exactly a supplemental to it, but it was just a thought. I was watching Themis and Thoth's latest video involving Tamika Mallory and some realizations that she made about activism in the Black community, focusing very much on the needs of Black men, but overlooking the needs of Black women and her discoveries about that. Now, I'm quite sure that there's going to be a lot of pushback on that, and I'm not entertaining any of that here. Here's what I got from the discussion, though, from reading the comments and seeing, the exhaustion of people trying to uphold a community that they feel half the members are not doing their part and so forth. My question would be, who told us we were responsible for the fate of 47 million people? I want you to think about that. And that's why I say count your responsibilities carefully. If humility is necessary, I'm one person. One person. So are you. You're one person. And there is no possible way to carry that big of a load. Now, there are certain mass responsibilities. Given that Black people are judged in the collective, it's helpful to think about how you show up and not live up to prevailing stereotypes. It's very helpful to think in those terms. But that basically involves you being the best version of yourself that you can be. And you do that for you. And in addition, make a good impression about the other 46,999,999 of us. Okay, that's not unreasonable. That's not unreasonable given the situation that we live under. But in terms of carrying the weight of the community, there are two ways that we have to look at this. One, is there a unified community? I'm just leaving the question out there. People differ on this. There is a common history for people who are American descendants of slaves, ADOS, or Foundational Black Americans, FBA, however you want to put it. I prefer to think of survivors of the enslavement of, descendants of the survivors is basically a good way of looking at that. So there is a common history, but even then, if you really examine chattel slavery and you look at how it varied in different places across the South, there's still quite a bit of difference there. But we love this idea that there is a unity among Black people in America, and that there is a community to whom we owe allegiance that is uniform. Even leaving that for what it is, can you rationally do anything as a single human being for a community that big? I'll make a suggestion to you. No. In the times in which we are living, taking care of yourself, for many of you, may be all you can do. If you have children, or in my case, you have elder parents, that's going to be all that you can do. There's a whole pandemic going on. There's terrible economic trouble that's connected with that for the Black community. That's going to be enough for most of us to be able to powerfully hold on and improve the situation. That's enough. If you expand that to your family circle, that's quite a lot. That's enough again. And if you get beyond a few dozen, as someone who has responsibility now for more than 800 people, through thank you to all my new subscribers, but for somebody who affects the lives of now 800 people and more, to become that person, you will pay an enormous price. I'm not going to go into that here. But it is costly to become someone that has that level of responsibility. And you will, whatever you do, you pay for. You will pay an enormous price for that. So you want to make sure that what you're doing is worth it. Can you be effective with 47 million people? Then let's look at this another way. If there is not a unified community, then all you have to really answer is, are you part of a Black local community, or are you adjacent to any? Now, in my case, my city was gentrified. There are still some pockets left. So I don't live in a, quote, local Black community, but I'm adjacent to a pocket. And through the internet, I'm adjacent to many other pockets. So there's that. But once you've identified this question, then the next question is, if you are in a Black community or you are adjacent to a Black community, how effective can you be? And are you safe? Are you safe to do the work that you want to do? A lot of Black women right now are realizing that they can say aloud that they don't feel safe doing this. Certain people want to play down the idea that 4 Black women are being killed in the community per day, and better than 95% of those deaths are not coming from people outside the community. They're coming from the men inside. People want to play that down. But for everybody killed, you have to look for everybody who's surviving in fear. You have to look at everybody who's being abused now and hasn't gotten to a deadly level in various ways. That number is a lot higher when you think about it. And even if you left it alone, if nothing else was happening, 1,460 women per year. And again, people like to act like that's not much, but again, you got to look at all the numbers of people that are affected just by those deaths alone. The families that are traumatized, including women who are traumatized by the losses, including sisters, mothers, daughters, friends. So by the time you finish adding all that out, it's a lot more Black women suffering from what's going on in the community. So the next question becomes, okay, you want to work in the community? What community are you in? What community are you adjacent to? And are you safe to do that? Neither overcount nor undercount your levels of responsibility. I'm 40. I spent a lot of my younger years entertaining the idea of the larger community, but what I did was I focused on my local and have become a person of great responsibility in the local community. And I have paid an enormous price for that, which I would pay again, because what I have done has granted the possibility for a generation of Black children to live a better life than the children who grew up with me and did not survive. So if you are called to the work, then do it. If you're not, don't burden yourself. I have a reason to do what I'm doing. Nobody stepped up to save my generation. I will not sit by and let what happened to my generation in this area happen again, if I can help it. I was spared to be called to the work. But if that is not you, if you're not called to it, do not be guilted or be given the expectation that you have to. Now, I'm not a divester. I cannot rationally hold that position. But I am saying to grown Black folks, men and women, but especially Black women, because so much is asked of us. There's so much cleanup that we are just expected to do. Do not undercount or overcount your responsibility. Are you taking good care of yourself? That may be enough for right now, given what the community and the country is going through. Are you taking good care of any family members that are absolutely your responsibility? Then you may be doing enough right now without thinking about the wider community. Are you being a responsible citizen in your local community? Then you're doing enough. If you are not safe, then the only responsibility you have right now is to get yourself and any children you may have to somewhere safe. That is enough. You cannot carry 47 million people. You cannot even carry whatever half of the Black community or whatever third you were interested in. The best you would be able to do is deal responsibly with what you're in and what you are adjacent to, and only if you are safe. Only if you are safe to do that. For the take off the burden of doing everything for the community and leave it in 2021. Do not carry this in 2022. For you to take care of you is enough, and the people that you are responsible to, the family that you're responsible to, if you have it, that is enough. And if you can do more in your local area and the areas to which you can be adjacent to, that's wonderful. But do not be handicapped. Do not be put upon. Because half the time, the people that want to put that kind of burden on you, as the Lord Jesus said, you bind great burdens for other people to carry, but you wouldn't move one with one of your fingers. The kind of people that insist that you exist just to serve the community are those kind of people. Don't be taken in. Neither undercount nor overcount your responsibility. Identify what you are truly responsible for and what you can safely do, and that is enough. All right. You have a good day now. And again, thank you, especially to all my new subscribers. I keep looking at those subscriber numbers and I'm like, wow, thank you for watching. Goodbye.